Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 28th. You have this ocean card. It says distance and journey on it. You also have this lion card. It says strength and success. So we could say that you are definitely showing up as yourself. You have this lion and you have the sun card. Whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength. Really allows you to get what you want from the reading. So that's great. And the sun is just a good card in general. You know, the sun makes the whole entire reading more positive. So for a lot of you, it could just be a positive time. You also have the Ten of Pentacles, and I've been seeing the Ten of Pentacles like crazy. Now, one thing I will say is that, Uranus is going to officially leave Taurus at the end of 2025, more or less. And, what I would say with that Uranus and Taurus energy is that I believe Uranus and Taurus really wants us to be free and also wants us to build and leave a legacy. So, building and leaving a legacy could be anything. One time, someone left me a comment and they said, "I'm not building or leaving a legacy, I'm homeless." I'm like, well, that is your legacy then, that you are leaving. Living under a bridge is your legacy, and there's no judgment here, right? Some people love it. So I would say whatever you're doing is you building, leaving your legacy. It can be as big or small as you want it to be, and there is no right or wrong, right? So I feel that, a lot of you could be building or leaving a legacy. You have the sun. The sun is shining a light on you, so, I love when the sun comes up. I look at the sun as a spotlight in readings. It kind of shines a light on something that's important. So outside of this being you, I would pay attention to your attention, especially you have the Ace of Wands as well. And the Ace of Wands is just a spark. The Ace of Wands is that spark of hope, that spark of inspiration or sudden realization or something like that. And it's out with the old, in with the new. So I would pay attention to your attention. Sometimes I think we don't, right? I don't. I never have my entire life. I have ADHD, right? I don't even have an attention. I have the attention of a goldfish. So, again, sometimes I forget things. I just said to someone else, I don't have it. I don't even have it here because I probably lost it, right? I have a little notebook that I usually always have with me where I write down all my ideas because I forget them. That is the sun, right? Is paying attention to the things that pop into your head whenever they pop into your head, right? Could be random insights, random thoughts throughout the day, but it is popping into my head as important with the sun card. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. So a lot of people have been getting this recently. I really do believe it's the end of Uranus and Taurus, like I said. I think that we, have a good couple of years here maybe to really go after something. And again, we don't have to complete something. I always tell people astrology is like a wave, right? So it's like when Uranus is in Taurus, you're learning the lessons of Uranus and Taurus. So even after it leaves, it's perfectly fine to continue to work on this because you're implementing the lessons. Astrology is not like a light switch. It's not like on off, it is on, you're learning, and then you keep learning. And, after the planet leaves, you hopefully are smart enough to keep implementing the lessons you learned when the planet was in that sign. So again, with Uranus and Taurus, I think now is the time to get started on building and leaving a legacy. But this legacy should probably include some freedom because Uranus and Taurus is all about freedom. Freedom means something different. For some people, prison is freedom. So, again, freedom is different for everyone. And this could be any type of freedom, but as long as you're putting the work in to do it or to at least try, and again, with astrology, we definitely don't have to be perfect. We just have to try. Then that is going to be good enough. You have the Justice card. Justice is cause and effect. We just had that full moon in Aries, which was opposing Libra. And we also had that eclipse in Libra as well a little while ago. So I think that, I don't know. I just feel this is kind of just like, balance energy, boring energy, where we just have to balance things out in our life and just make sure that things are balanced. If you're looking for love, by the way, you have the Lovers and you have the Knight of Cups as well. You could be attracting an air sign, or you could, it could be any sign, but you have the Lovers and Justice. It could be a Libra or Gemini, or it could be a person with those signs in their chart that you're attracting, if you're looking for love. With the Sun card, you have the Queen of Swords. Love it. I love the Sun with the Queen of Swords because the Queen of Swords sees things clearly for the first time. She only has clouds like halfway up her body when on a traditional Queen of Swords, and it just says she is seeing things clearly. That's it. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Moon, which is the dream. The Moon can represent a lack of clarity. It can represent confusion, secrets, fears, illusions, things like that. But I personally like the Moon, maybe because I'm a Pisces, but the Moon is really literally like a dream. And nowhere on the moon does it say stop. Also, the moon is temporary. The moon comes up, moon goes down, sun comes up, right? So the moon is temporary, and the moon can say you have your eye on something that is that would be like an accomplishment, because there's normally some mountains in the background of the moon card. And those mountains, they can represent an obstacle, but they can also represent an achievement. And so a lot of you might have some goals or some things that you want to accomplish. And the moon says, like, start working towards those things, and eventually the sun will come up. And you have the sun here just in general. With the Justice card, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is just potential. It means nothing. You always get the Ace of Pentacles with me because I feel like I'm always saying to you that you're like thinking about something that has a lot of potential. It could be anything, but potential means nothing. It means what you put into the situation. And isn't it funny? You have the Justice card. Justice is cause and effect. It's like if you put energy into this thing that has potential, it will grow. If you don't, then it just won't grow. Plain and simple. Even in your next row, I can see your next card, which is kind of funny to me based off this reading. So in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Stag Spirit says take the lead. Obviously, if you're working towards a goal with that 10 of Pentacles, it's probably a big picture goal, because 10 of Pentacles is like everything you want and desire. So usually it's like everything that you're working on. And you have this take the lead card. So you're really going to have to take the lead on what you're working on. And you have this Whale Spirit says trust in the great mystery. Yes, I think we are in a very mysterious time where, and I'm not trying to be mysterious by saying that. I just think that a lot of people, we just don't have answers to like what we're working on, or it's like maybe we're not sure of what the outcome is going to be if we put energy into something that we're working on, or, whatever the case may be. So again, a lot of you might not be exactly clear on what you are manifesting or creating in your life, but I feel this is saying take the lead anyway and make it happen. You have the Ace of Cups, sorry, not the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Lovers, and the Two of Wands. So the Knight of Cups is kind of like a knight in shining armor. Sorry, I didn't sleep very well last night. I was listening to this like sleep meditation thing. I have a weird story. I don't know. It's popping into my head with this Knight of Cups as well. I was listening to this sleep meditation. It's like I kind of woke up when I was listening to it, and it like sounded like a foreign language in my head. It was like very weird, but it wasn't. It was in English, but like I couldn't fall asleep after that. So that's why I said Ace of Cups. But you have the Knight of Cups, clearly could be a knight in shining armor. You have the Ace of Wands right next to it, which would be a very passionate connection. So if you want love, definitely could be love. This could also be you just dreaming of something. The Knight of Cups is dreaming. And that's why I was saying the whole foreign language thing. It's like, obviously I was kind of like in a dream state, like in that in-between state when I heard that. And I kind of feel that for you, because you go Ace of Wands to the Three of Swords. And that's where I was going with that message. It's like Ace of Wands, very good. Three of Swords, heartbreak. It's almost like you are fearing that a dream isn't going to work out. But the Three of Swords is actually coming up in the good stuff. So this is kind of like saying that something, maybe a dream that you think isn't going to work out, is going to work out. I also feel that maybe some of you are fearing that something is going to get lost in translation. Like my dream. It's like it was the weirdest thing that has ever one of the weirder things that's happened to me, right? Because like when I fully woke up, it was in English what I was listening to. But again, maybe you're fearing that something will get lost in translation, or something won't be projected correctly. You do have the Lovers here, so again, could be love. The Lovers can also represent a choice, and you have the Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands here. I always say with the Two of Wands to move towards the new direction. The Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. So a lot of you could just be moving towards something new. It could be like a new goal, a new business, new whatever, and I feel that would be very good for you. So I would definitely think about that with the Lovers. But the Lovers, could also be new love for those of you that want love. You have the Two of Wands. Again, Two of Wands about taking the lead. You have that Stag Spirit that said take the lead on it. So you have to take the lead to leave some sort of comfort zone here. And I kind of have that like lost in translation thing popping into my head, which is very weird. So again, maybe some of you, here, like I don't want to make this too confusing, but I do feel like some of you have already had a fresh start or a new beginning in your life. And it's like something is lost in translation. I still don't have advice yet. So hopefully we get some advice on how you can wake up from the dream. And it could be as simple as, seeing reality for what it actually is. But there's something about that popping into my head. So we'll see if we can clarify that. But the Two of Wands says that you have to take the lead. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with, and needing to release something. I'm wondering if you have to release something from the past, because you have the Sun and the Moon. I am not a big fan of the Sun and the Moon together, especially in a love reading, because it can represent two people who really don't see eye to eye, or two people who really won't get along. But I kind of feel this could be like a past person. The Ten of Swords could also be good, because Ten of Swords is a blessing in disguise. With the lovers, we do have the Five of Swords, so some of you could be experiencing a breakup or a separation, or you already have. We have a ton of retrogrades at the end of the year here, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of you were like hearing from exes or anything like that. Again, obviously, if you don't want to hear from them, block and move on, or make sure you do whatever you have to do. I don't know. I like, one thing I will say is I think we're kind of in a karmic time at this exact time next year. So like around this time, like October 23rd, 24th, somewhere around there next year, I'm talking about. We will have like 4 planets, one of them being the moon. So the moon really isn't a planet, but one of them being the moon, all at the exact same time will be in Scorpio. And so why am I talking about this now? Because Scorpio is death and rebirth, and even though it's happening next year, this year in Scorpio season, with all these retrogrades we'll have at the end of the year, it could be bringing some past people back. So I would just be wise. Let's put it that way. With the Two of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. I really feel like you're fearing a heartbreak here, and not even just in love. This could be based off of something that you're working on, or you're creating, or you're hoping to create. It's like you're just thinking the worst, and I think you need to get out of your head going this direction here, especially if you're starting something new with the Page of Wands, or sorry, the Ace of Wands. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Balance card, Justice. You have this Passion card as well, Ace of Wands. So I think that for a lot of you, you have to balance like the real world and your passions. I think that would be super beneficial, for Leo for sure, to work on passions. I just said on one of the podcasts I was on, I don't remember which one, but I was talking about how I think the fixed signs could do very, very well working on passions, things that are like passion projects or passion-based businesses or whatever. I've heard from a lot of people to not start a passion-based business, but I have 2 passion-based businesses that do very well. This being one of them, right? So I don't know. I kind of feel like it's BS. I understand why people say don't start a passion-based business, but at the same time, like I said, I don't know. It works very well for me. So again, sometimes I think we need to not listen to smart people and do it anyway, right? And I would say that if you have a passion, it's time to move towards a passion with the Ace of Wands. I definitely think like working. I think the problem with working on a passion-based business is that it can suck the passion out of it because it becomes a chore. But again, I think it just depends on what type of person you are. The Ace of Wands really is out with the old and with the new. So regardless of what you're doing, I do feel that there is some sort of new beginning coming in for you here, Leo, and I think it'll be very successful for you. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can sometimes be a card of lying, cheating, stealing. Really, the Seven of Swords is a card of tactics, and the Seven of Swords is a good card. It's about, him stealing those swords from the army in the background so he doesn't have to go to war. And it just says anything you're thinking about doing, there is a better way to do it. So it just says, put your thinking cap on and be tactical. You have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is about going on adventure. Pretty weird. Almost every single person this week, I'm pretty sure almost every single person, has had either the Page of Wands, that's why I said Page of Wands earlier, or the Knight of Wands. And these are cards of really going on adventure. I think what's more important for fixed signs is being spontaneous and also being flexible. Again, that Uranus and Taurus energy. When you think about it, Taurus is not known for being flexible. When you think about it, you don't see bulls doing splits, right? And so Taurus, and also fixed sign energy, is not very flexible, but being flexible and kind of like allowing things to work how they want to work in business, work, love, whatever, and just kind of being more go with the flow could be a much more beneficial energy for you. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Emperor here. The Emperor is about really taking control. So again, you have the Take the Lead card. You really have several cards. Two of Wands says take the lead as well. If you're starting something new, I feel like you really have to take control of what you're working on and make it happen. The other thing is we have 2 aces here. Aces are opportunities. The emperor is normally sitting on his throne, and he has armor on underneath his cloak, but he hasn't gotten up yet. And the armor being on underneath his cloak represents the fact that the emperor is ready to go at a moment's notice. Whenever an opportunity presents itself, he will take action because he's ready to go whenever he needs to. And I kind of feel this is saying, like, be ready, prepare to take the lead, because you're about to get an opportunity that you're going to need to jump on. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. Yeah, I really feel this is something that needs to be healed, like part of your old story or a past person. A past person could be preventing you from getting with a new person if you want love. I kind of feel it needs to be healed here, and so I would just heal from anything from the past. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Judgment card. Judgment is one of the only cards in the tarot I personally consider an X coming back. So again, definitely Scorpio season, retrogrades, I would be careful. And, like I said, people always say, I'm not going to go back to the past. I'm like, good. I'm one of the only readers on YouTube that says, do not go back to the past. And so, again, I never do X back readings because I think it's BS. But what I would say here is that I feel, again, just because I say that doesn't mean someone's not going to try. So again, I would protect yourself. And even the Judgment card, those people are in their coffins. They're rising up out of the coffins. And the coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. So the Judgment card says, yeah, sure, a person could be coming back, but don't go back. It says, make sure you keep moving forward. And that's exactly what I would do here with the Judgment card. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Between Worlds card and this Time for a Nap card. Yeah, definitely could be time for a nap for you. Take those naps, recharge those batteries. The Between Worlds card is one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's kind of like this flamingo is going from black and white to color. So a lot of you could be stepping into like a much more vibrant energy in the world, or much more vibrant time in your life, and that could be a good thing for sure. You have the Three of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. Again, a lot coming up in the good stuff. The Three of Swords would say that you are healing, that you are going through a healing, and that you are correcting the energy, which would be great. With the Three of Swords, it's all about forgiveness, and we just have to forgive the past, but we don't have to forgive like a person directly. We just have to forgive them in our heart, and then we can move forward. You do have the Page of Wands, so I wasn't wrong. The Page of Wands is about you kind of going on an adventure, which everybody has had this week. So it could just be an adventurous week. Again, I would just like do something new or different, or whatever. I think that maybe a lot of us have to break out of the COVID mindset. Like a few years ago, I moved back to Seattle for the second time, and it was like right after COVID. I left during COVID, and I moved back home, and then I moved back right after COVID. And when my brother and I moved back, we really didn't do anything. We were still living as if it was COVID. Like we were just staying home, and like we weren't exploring, and it was like very boring. And I think that a lot of people need to break out of that COVID mentality, right? Of being stuck at home or whatever, and just like need to go have fun, go explore, go do something new. You have the Queen of Swords, so you are getting clarity, which is great. You start and end with the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords, again, is clear for the first time. So I feel for a lot of you that, again, you could be gaining some clarity here. With the Three of Swords, you have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands, like a victory or a big success coming in for you. So I do feel like there could be some sort of victory coming in for you here. With the Page of Wands, you have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles represents feeling left out in the cold, but Five of Pentacles coming up in the good stuff could say that you are coming out of the cold. It could also say that you are correcting your finances, which I do feel a lot of Leos need to do. I think it's part of your karma right now, Leo, to make money or get comfortable making money, or do something nice for yourself, right? And this isn't like a materialism thing. I think this is just about, kind of, showing yourself what you can do, right? I think it's about kind of proving something to yourself. And again, we're not coming at this from a materialistic place. People always love to say to me, it's not all about the money. I'm like, okay, well, let me know what bridge you live under. I'll come throw some money at you, right? But, it really is, because we need money to survive. And I don't like, that's a money block mentality. Everybody who's ever said to me, money doesn't buy happiness. I've been poor. I've had money. I lost all my money. I made all my money back. And trust me, life is is much, much better with money. So to me, that's a money block mentality, and I'm not picking on anyone here, but they just print it, right? And so my problem with that mentality, I get it. I get where people are coming from, but they just make it, right? It's just all over the place. You're not stealing from anyone when you make as much as you possibly can. And I encourage everyone, I encourage an abundance mindset. I encourage people to make as much as possible because you can, right? I'm a dummy and I make plenty of money. And so a lot. And what I would say, if I can do it, you can do it. So, again, I encourage people to make as much as they freaking can. And, again, I think that there's a need for you to do this. And again, if you truly don't want money, give it away, right? And again, I think it's just a cop out to say like money isn't everything. Fine, okay, then make a bunch of it and give it away if you truly feel that way, because there are plenty of people who need it. With the Queen of Swords, you have the King of Wands. This would normally be Aries, King of Wands, but I kind of feel like this is you showing up in the reading. I feel like you're just showing up which is great. It's a good thing to show up as the King of Wands. I think you are showing up in a position of power and strength and success, and I feel like you are becoming very successful, and you're like a much more driven energy as well. I get off that King of Wands. I kind of feel like you need that. It's like a need for you, Leo, but I don't mean that again in a bad way. I mean, like, I feel that some of you have maybe not been feeling very driven or very motivated, and it's like now you do. You have this Nest card. It says an emotionally secure, loving family is important for you. So yeah, I think that some of you, very Leo energy. It's like I have 19 million Leos in my life. No joke, right? I was born in a family of Leos. Everybody in my family is Leo except for me, practically except for me and my mom. Yeah, I would say I think Leos are very family oriented. So that makes perfect sense to me. You have this bat. It says, take care, enemies are working against you. I feel like you feel this way. I always tell people with the cards like this during Mars retrograde years, we have Mars going retrograde in your sign at the end of the year, that Mars retrograde, I think, can create a little bit of that, that monkey brain chatter in the back of your brain where you're like, oh, are people doing something against me or whatever, but it might not be true. So I always tell people, like, unless you have solid proof, just ignore it and keep working. You have this quill. It says, get back to basics. Yes, I think it's an amazing time for Leo to focus on what works. Just do what works. You'll be perfectly fine. You have this carrot. It says, opportunity or windfall. There's more to meet than meets the eye. A carrot grows underground. It's like you're just seeing the green part. Nobody wants to eat that. Everybody wants to eat this right here. So I think that some of you are clearly getting an opportunity, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and it could be a very abundant opportunity, but I think you really have to like go for it and also pull it up out of the ground, meaning like make it happen. You have this ink pot. It says problems to be resolved. I feel like there are like little minor annoyances that are getting in the way of you, Leo. It's like, something happens and you think it's the end of the world. So I would be careful of that mindset, and I would just keep doing what you're doing. But a pretty good reading, Leo, overall. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.